afternoon, friends, family, students, staff, and faculty. Welcome to the Marion Campus Senior Celebration. My name is Chris Trapp, and I'm excited to be one of the 4 MCs for today's program. My role on campus is focused on student success and student retention. So being with you today to recognize the students who began their journey 4 or more years ago is truly an honor. With me today are my co-MCs, 3 of my colleagues, Leslie Beery and Ellen Thomas from our Counseling and Wellness Center, and Michelle McInnes, who works right alongside me with a focus on student success. Let me share with you how this program today came about. 2 of the graduates being honored felt that a recognition like this one was important, an opportunity to come together with their classmates and reflect on their time at Ohio State Marion. They applied to be a student organization and needed to identify a faculty or staff advisor. I was asked to serve in this role, and I'm so happy that I agreed because working alongside these students over the past few weeks has been a clear reminder of how rewarding it is to work with college students. A benefit of a student organization leading this effort is that it's one more experience for these students to add to their already rich resumes. They've organized all facets of this program today. They laid out a timeline of tasks that needed to be completed. They secured speakers, invited their fellow graduates. They put together invitations, they designed the slides, and gave input on the comments that you'll hear today about the places and the people and the experience that have shaped their time on our campus. Student organizations are also awarded funds that can be used as the club members see fit. So the gifts that our graduates will receive today, as well as the refreshments after the program, are a result of this effort. While all of the graduates here today have contributed their reflections and photos, Amber Alexander and Tiffany Rossetti are the 2 students who've led this process, and I think we should give them a big round of applause. While nearly 60 Marion campus students are graduating with a bachelor's degree this semester, today we will recognize the 19 outstanding seniors listed on your program. In my opinion, one of the richest rewards of working on this campus is being a part of the varied journeys that our students take as they work toward graduation. We're going to hear specifics about each student, but let me share some highlights of this group of 19. For those who began right out of high school and completed their degree in 4 years, their high school grad year was 2018. These students graduated from 16 different high schools, from Bryan in the northeast part of the state to Winton Woods in Cincinnati and nearly everywhere in between. Some students take a path that looks a little bit different. We're honoring graduates today who've been with us since 2015, and those who began as recently as 2020, transferring from Ashland University, Defiance College, Bowling Green, Columbus State, and more. No matter how and when you landed on this campus, in the spring semester of 2020, you all shared an unforgettable experience when the pandemic struck. In the middle of a primarily in-person Ohio State experience, the sudden shift to online learning was pivotal. It was challenging, exhausting, and stressful. While every one of us felt the impact that COVID delivered, some of you carried extra responsibilities. Kids were suddenly sent home from school, and as parents and caregivers, not only did adjustments in your own learning need to shift, but now the role of teacher came into play. Students who were engaged in student organizations and activities, and all of us who felt supported and energized by being on this campus and with each other, were forced to connect in new ways. The financial burden of the pandemic was not insignificant. Students lost work opportunities. Some students had to work more to help support their families or pay bills from months of not working. I mention this because despite the challenges that you all faced during a critical point in your educational journey, You didn't give up. You made it, and we are so proud of you. Family members, friends, and other guests, thank you for your support that you provided to your graduate. Whether it was helping with tuition or other costs, having something ready to eat after class, listening when somebody needed to vent about that 12-page paper or the exam that felt a little bit overwhelming, maybe just a hug or a smile to let them know you were there, it all matters, and we thank you for that support. Students, this is when we thank you. We've printed the names of the graduates on the program that you have this afternoon in the order in which they will be introduced. We invite you to make your way to the stage if you want to take some pictures as they are up here, so feel free to do that. One of the graduates that we're recognizing is Amber Alexander, and as the outgoing president of the undergraduate student government, I'm going to turn things over to her now. Amber, come on up.
Okay, so out of all the speeches I've given on campus, I've never got to do this, so OH! Yes! That's so cool. First, I want to thank my amazing co-founder of the Senior Recognition Ceremony Committee, Tiffany Rossetti, and our club advisor, Chris Trapp. There's no way I could have done this alone, and I am endlessly grateful to be able to work with such inspiring leaders like the two of you to organize such a wonderful event. I also want to thank Shelley Shirk and John McHarry for their additional support in this process. Your guidance and experience is invaluable to our mission of celebrating students at Ohio State Marion. I'm here today to represent the student body of Ohio State Marion as president of undergraduate student government. More importantly, I'm here to also represent the outstanding seniors I have the pleasure of celebrating with this afternoon. A few years ago in another speech, I told incoming students, no matter what your reason is for pursuing an education at Ohio State Marion, always know that this community is your home, welcoming place remotely or on campus, always full of students, faculty, and staff who are here to help you become the best version of yourself and push you to achieve greatness. If you're anything like me, maybe you'll find that Ohio State Marion is the home you never thought you'd find. It's almost embarrassing to admit, but I was so excited to campus change to Columbus at the end of my sophomore year. I thought that somehow I'd be happier on the Columbus campus, but 2018 had much different plans for me. I started my first student work-study job in the Office of Student Life, joined student clubs, and gained a valuable mentorship with the professor I was incredibly grateful to call my thesis advisor this past year. In one way or another, the Marion campus became a home to each of us. The opportunities that have been available to us as students are innumerable and have been pivotal in our development as leaders, researchers, and advocates on and off campus. The students at Ohio State Marion, and specifically the 2022 graduating class, truly embodies the idea of education for citizenship. Something that this graduating class also embodies is small acts of kindness. This lends itself to our commitment to this campus, to our fellow classmates, and bringing change to continue to make Ohio State Marion a better place for future Buckeyes. These small acts of kindness don't exist on their own. These values are instilled upon us as students by the leadership around us, contributed by faculty and staff. For me, these small acts of kindness exist as being offered orange slices during office hours, or a professor taking extra time to give me more feedback to make my work stronger. They were right when they told us on orientation day that it takes a village, because it does. Where would we be if we didn't have each other? Where would we be if we didn't have leadership that inspired us to become versions of ourselves that we're proud of? Luckily, as graduates of Ohio State and proud regional campus students at Ohio State Marion, we'll never have to learn.
Thank you, Amber. This senior class has experienced a lot of change on the Ohio State Marion campus, and compared to the beginning of their educational journey, this campus looks very different in some ways. The changes that have happened during their time here include the construction of the Science and Engineering building, the third floor renovations in Morrill, the Student Center renovations, the creation of the Marion Campus Food Pantry, which includes the friendly fridges, and last but not least, the creation of the Career Closet, which was the mastermind and internship project by one of the seniors being recognized tonight. And now I'd like to invite Group 1 to line up to begin student introduction.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone here today, and I feel this is truly an honor to be able to give these awards to two of our education students. I'm going to start with Alyssa Lambert, and Alyssa is a non-traditional student. She has a family, not only going to school, she has been raising 3 sons while in school, and obviously doing very well. I have 2 words for Alyssa, and one is determined, and the other is perseverance, because I feel like she has just undergone a lot to be here today, and I'm very, very proud of her. There were many nights, or many days, mornings, I guess, when I was up and I'd start grading papers, and I'd see she submitted a paper at 2 a.m. So I'm sure her work time was after her kids went to sleep at night, and she could concentrate on her work. The other little story I want to tell about her, I teach a class called Drama in Teaching and Learning, which is fun, and we were trying out a new project, a new idea, and my coworker Sally kept saying, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to do it. And so we introduced the project, and they were supposed to pretend to have a pizza shop and have all the different roles of the people in the pizza shop. So we introduced the idea, and Alyssa right away said, okay, let's go, I can't wait. So she kind of got everybody else in the class going and thinking about what they were going to be doing. So I'm very proud of Alyssa. And when I met Bailey several years ago in child development, I made the comment that she must have a very creative mother because she spells her name in such a different way. I had never seen that before, and I'm right, and she's a very creative person. So my 2 words to describe Bailey are creative and outgoing, and I'll start with outgoing because everybody on campus knows Bailey. Everybody. She's involved in everything, which is wonderful. And that's what we want with teachers. We want them to be outgoing and very, very involved. My other word is creative, and I will talk about a lesson. I was fortunate enough to supervise her during one of her field placements, and she had a group of kindergartners, and she read a book to the kids. And then they took a little trip around the class, and she had all these props up, and it was a bear hunt. And the kids had to see the bear and all the different people in the book, and they loved it. And she led the way in her creativity, and it was a wonderful lesson, and got the kids up and moving. So it was a lot of fun to watch. So all the things we hope they learn in our education classes, she exemplified very easily. So congratulations.
Well, hello, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Ryan Purdy, but most of you that know me call me Dr. Tiff. And I'm the manager of the Academic Success Center. Michelle. Okay, so Michelle is one of my employees in Academic Success, where we offer free tutoring, and she's sort of been my ace in the hole for several years now. So I never really volunteered that she was working for me to anyone else when they asked, do you have student employee that, you know, I could have for a few hours? No, I don't have anybody in mind for you because I like to keep her to myself. She has helped me get through, 3 years of science fair now, which is, anybody that knows me, I'm like, it's science fair season, don't talk to me, it's bad, you know, and she's helped me make it through. She's also involved in so many projects with us on this campus, and no one knows she's behind the scenes. She's worked with me on STEM camps. I mean, last year, I was like, hey, we've got to do a virtual camp, and everything we have to do has to use materials found in-house and cost no money. Let's go. You know, and she's all in. She's like, sure, yeah, we can totally do this. And you just don't get that, you know, from all of your employees. Although I am losing another one today, who you'll hear about later. But I digress. So, in addition to doing all of these side projects, she also is a writing tutor, and she is also a tutor in geography and so many other things, and in addition to working my front desk all the time. So, she's absolutely essential to our program. It's going to be rough without her. She's my perspective check. She's always like to, have you made sure that this is accessible to everyone? Like, how can we do this? How can we make this so that everyone can participate? Which is wonderful, because sometimes people are quiet about that, you know. Not Michelle, no. she tells me how it is, and I appreciate that. And she's intelligent and motivated and fearless. In our time together, I have watched her overcome more obstacles than most people will encounter in their entire lifetime. And every time, you rose up stronger. So, all I have to say is I'm so proud of you and all that you've accomplished, and I'm gonna end it.
Good afternoon. I have the honor to tell you about 4 years of supervising Tiffany Rossetti as the student assistant in the Counseling and Wellness Center. I first became aware of Tiffany in the fall of 2018 when we were hiring our first ever student worker. I was the only one in the department at that time, and we were just months away from opening the campus food pantry. The day after the position posted, I received a well-composed email from Tiffany expressing interest in the job. Waiting for others to apply, I didn't respond immediately. The next day, I had a second well-composed email from Tiffany. And she has been organizing me, the Counseling and Wellness Center, and the campus food pantry ever since. A strong and gifted student from the beginning, I have had the privilege to watch Tiffany grow and develop in other areas. She allowed herself to be vulnerable and to ask for help when needed, like the semester she had organic chemistry. That was a rough semester for both of us. She is a goal setter, constantly challenging herself to go outside of her comfort zone, and from this approach, a natural leader emerged. A favorite memory with Tiffany was before the pandemic, when the YMC called to let us know that their field of corn was ready for picking. I asked Tiffany if she wanted to go with me. Sure, she replied. Clearly inexperienced, the two of us arrived at the field. Had that conversation been recorded for TikTok, we would have gone viral. Separated in the field, the conversation went something like, ouch, these corn plants are really sharp. And how many ears do you think makes up a bushel? And I wonder if there are any snakes in here. That event, like so many others, were a success because Tiffany was involved. She is an awesome student, an incredibly hard worker, and most importantly, a wonderful human being. Congratulations to Tiffany.
I'm very excited to introduce Trinity Bradley. Trinity is a zoology major and is currently employed at the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium as an educational interpreter. Her favorite thing about attending Ohio State Marion campus is that it gave her the ability to stay close to family while still providing a true college experience. She enjoys painting, gardening, and volunteering at the Marion Area Humane Society, the Marion County Dog Pound, and the Columbus Zoo and Aquarium. Congratulations, Trinity. I also have the pleasure of introducing Maya Viano. Maya has been a big part of the Counseling and Wellness Center as a student worker over the past few years. It's been so exciting to watch her journey and witness all of her many accomplishments. When I asked Maya what she enjoyed most about the Marion campus, she told me, "I'm very grateful for the past 4 years at OSUM. Along the way, I created strong bonds with faculty and staff, even those who I did not take classes with. I enjoyed creating new friendships and hanging out in the Student Center. I'm proud of who I became from the guidance and help of this university." Outside of her role as a student, Maya also enjoys playing soccer, doing strength training, and collecting Funko Pops. And yes, I had to look up what that was. Congratulations, Maya.
Take a second, sitting up here so close, it's emotional, just the relationships that our students and our faculty and staff build during their time. So, while working in education at times can sometimes feel a little bit like parenting. And when you're parenting, you're never supposed to have a favorite, but you all know we do. And I probably shouldn't admit this, but this outgoing class is one of my favorites. And I will tell you, they will always hold a special place in my heart. So, here I go. As you're walking in, you may have seen some of the photos from orientation day scrolling through these baby faces. That some of them look the same and some of them don't look the same at all. And some of you actually had your orientation during my first week as a staff member on this campus. So in some ways, I kind of feel like I started the journey with you. And it's really been an honor and a privilege to see how you guys have grown. You've gotten where I have not, but you've all aged well, guys. So when I was first asked by the students to speak today, I was really honored. I thought, yes, someone is finally valuing all of the wisdom that I would have to share. Or maybe they're just really impressed with my public speaking skills. But then it was my husband that assured me it was probably just because my students know that I like to talk a lot. But then I realized that all three of those things are possible at the same time, because rarely in life are we ever just one thing. And the same can be said about the students in front of you that we are honoring this afternoon. We may be recognizing them for their academic accomplishments, and let's face it, that is no small feat. These students are about to be graduates of the Ohio State University. But what is so cool and so impressive to me is the fact that all of these students are graduating. Not only did they spend their time with us as students, but the amount of things that this graduating class accomplished. So I'd like to highlight just a few of those, and actually a lot of these categories can be said about many of our different students here. We actually have 10 of our 19 students are first generation students. If you're not familiar what it means to be first gen, it means they are the first person in their immediate family to graduate college. A little bit later in the program, you will see some honor medallions go out to selected students who are first gen within the College of Social Work. That just happens to be the one college that honors those students in a separate way. But overall, in this graduating class of the students before us today, we do have 10 of those students. We have student representatives that served on the Board of Trustees. We have members of the homecoming court. Some of these students were the first cohort of students to participate in the STEP program. And in fact, one of them completed the first STEP signature project that was ever done on the Marion campus. Members of this class were the first to receive iPads. In fact, there's a photo that scrolled earlier. One of you received the first ever iPad on the Marion campus. We have student employees, we have honor students, we have students that completed research with Marion faculty members, we have student ambassadors, we have former peer leaders, we have students who have won multiple awards, and I have a feeling we'll win a few more tonight as well. We have club presidents among us, we have members of our student government, we have students who have completed internships, we have students that were parents throughout their education. We have students who worked full-time. We have students that have already been accepted into a master's program. We have some that have already been offered full-time professional positions upon graduation. And last but not least, we have a sesquicentennial, a fun word to say, sesquicentennial scholar. And those are really just a handful of the highlighted accomplishments among this class. As you will see from their points of pride that are displayed on the television as they come up here, the students on the Marion campus are very diverse, as are their accomplishments. So without further ado, let's get back to celebrating some of those accomplishments. At this time, Group 2, will you please rise and come to the stage? I have the privilege of introducing to you Andrew Coy. Now, Andrew is an English major, but you might notice, if you read our display here, that he is working in an engineering role down at Delco. He's working in research, he's working with AutoCAD, and he's going to be continuing there after graduation. So when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's an obvious place for an English major to end up. So I asked Andrew what it was about his English degree and why English and how he's going to take that with him. And he told me that his goal with that program is to be, he gets to present a lot in this role at Delco, and he hopes through the English sort of curriculum that he's had here that he is better spoken and will be a dynamic presenter. And I can tell you I spent a few minutes talking to him, and I think mission accomplished, because I was pretty impressed. He made me sweat a little bit, because I knew the guy who wants to be a good presenter, I had to present him, so thanks, no pressure, buddy. I asked about his favorite class, and he couldn't give me just one. In fact, he named all of the classes that he had with Professor Wallace, Professor McCorkle, and Professor Crosby. His favorite memories, he also couldn't give me just one. He let me know that he spent a lot of time down the hall in the peer leader office, hanging out on those couches and making lasting, lifelong friendships and relationships. And so I thought that was really great that he was able to meet and take those relationships with him. And last but not least, this will surprise you, he told me he is excited to graduate. All right, thank you, Andrew, best wishes.
integral part of our Theater for Social Change playwriting program. More recently, she's taken to writing creative nonfiction. She was shared and stunned with the beauty of her writing with her fellow writers in Kapow, our campus creative writing club, of which she is president. Where Amber has used her time here to live the life of a writer. That is her passion. She's entering into a distinguished Master of Fine Arts program in creative writing in the not-too-distant future. And should Amber continue to hone her craft, I predict we will see her name grace a book cover, more than one book cover in the next few years. Paraphrase Nobel Prize-winning poet Pablo Neruda, good writing will always find its audience. But Amber's more than just a writer. She's been a stellar student, well beyond her creative writing classes with me, so much so that she was awarded the undergraduate academic excellence senior award on the Marion campus. Besides being the president of Kapow, she's been involved in the Griffin Honor Society and the LGBT Student Club, and actively enrolled in student undergraduate student government on the Marion campus. And professors are supposed to be above these sorts of things. I understand there was some big deal with the homecoming. So, congratulations on that. So, Amber's breadth of accomplishments has been, and involvement has been wide, it's been deep. It is a privilege to honor her today.
All right, I'm going to keep this short, but basically, Amber, you are the coolest. So Amber did a thesis with me, and it's just one of the most intelligent pieces of writing I've seen people do, and it's 50 pages. So she's just intellectually impressive. I'm sorry. But I guess I also want to talk about Amber as a community builder. You've been in so many of my classes, and so many times I've been like, oh, let's do this project, and people immediately all just go like, well, what does Amber want to do? People learn they can count on you to give the most creative, the most fun, most intelligent kind of things. And I am so going to miss that. Anyway, just one anecdote. So Amber is just, has just become so central to our community. And I remember once we were doing that theater for the social change class, and my student, I'm like, this is the first time I've done it, I don't know what we're doing, I guess we'll write plays, we need people to do these plays. And I'm like, I don't know who's going to do these plays, we've got like 5 hours to find people to do these plays. And Amber's like, I got it. And you went and you rustled up people to do the entire class worth of plays. And that's just the type of person Amber is. And I know you are going to do amazing work in life. And I'm just so happy and privileged to know you. So, thank you. We're Drew's people. I just want you to know, you've all done a fabulous job with him. Like, he is so impressive. I know there's probably stuff on the screen about Dean's List and all of the amazing things you've done. I would just say that I have been constantly impressed with Drew's intelligence and discipline and seriousness as a student. You always were there with like the smartest comment in the class. You've always taken the most challenging, weird classes with me. Like I know I'll take a 4,000 level grammar class, and you did it, and you did everything in that class. But I think what probably impresses me most about Drew goes beyond academics. It is his character. He is an impressive human
seen in a classroom. He really brings others into discussion. He advocates for others when he sees an injustice. And this shows up in his writing, in his research. Like my favorite paper that you did was about Motown, and how Motown sort of pushed forward the civil rights movement. And I find that so impressive, that kind of compassionate openness to others and to thinking of himself as an advocate. So Drew wants to become a high school English teacher. I think he's going to be brilliant. Ooh, that's really nice. Your students are going to be so fortunate to have you as an English teacher. And I'm just so excited to see what you do. And thank you for being in my classes. And I'm going to miss you. You need to come back.
Let's go back to autumn 2019. Remember those days? Mr. Nicholas Clark waltzed into my historical methods course and announced he was my new history major. And I thought, great, the methods course, how to be a history major, that's how I teach it. So I thought, great, this is great. Within a week, this new history major of mine showed up at my open office hours, and we had a 2-hour conversation that ranged from literature, film, politics, the power of social media, his worries about conspiracy theories and how Americans are believing them, as well as, we also talked about the class. I soon realized this was not your average freshman or sophomore, and certainly not my average new history major, and that I had a true intellectual on my hands. I looked forward to seeing where he would go with that, and he's gone pretty far. That fall, I had Nicholas in 2 history classes, double the conversations, and every time he dropped by, those conversations got better and better, and then he started to write papers for me. Again, Nicholas did not disappoint. Like all new students, he needed, forgive me, practice and structure, clarifying his ideas, a couple of rounds of revision, but those ideas. I saw original thinking about historical questions, an engaging writing style, and absolute enthusiasm about the ideas he was exploring in these history essays of mine. It was so exciting as his professor, as a history professor, to see him learn how to craft an argument, his own argument, and then support it by using historical documents. It only got better in spite of the COVID. We traveled together online sometimes, over Zoom. The guy is great on Zoom as well for conversations. Through the history of American women's activism, he continued taking classes with me in spite of the fact that I kept assigning him longer and longer papers. Into the Gilded Age and Reconstruction era, into the history of Black women to present-day issues, his writing only improved, and those conversations were always great. Drop-in conversations, conversations in class, and also conversations that inspired my other history majors, the younger ones, the ones that hadn't done the reading that Nicholas always did, the ones that maybe skimmed a little bit, maybe kind of came prepared for class. He was a great leader in discussion groups. He was a great leader in getting other students as excited as he was about the topic of the day. And one student, I never told you this, observed me, dude, is there any topic that bro doesn't have an opinion about or knows about? In spite of COVID, and boy, Nicholas knows about that, working as a waiter, he had all kinds of perspectives on what life during COVID was like, as well as the everyday life challenges of all students who are balancing life, work, and multiple studies. He carried out smart research as he wrapped up the junior and senior year on 2 research seminars, 2 senior level seminars. And just to let you know his range, one was on the cultural history of early modern European museum construction from my other history colleague, Amanda Respass. And he's finishing up one with me right now on the liberating role of religion in antebellum slave communities. My other student was right. There is no topic that doesn't spark the curiosity, enthusiasm, and intellectual engagement of the bro here, Nicholas Clark. I just thought that was cute. Oh. His present plan is to dive into the American economy and flex his marketing and business skills now. I'm so excited to see where he goes with this new intellectual challenge. Although I have always told Nicholas that he will one day write history again and return to some sort of classroom. Any student who loves the intellectual life as much as Nicholas will always make sure to follow it wherever it leads him. Thank you.
So I'm Holly Jacobson, and I work in enrollment services here at Ohio State Marian, and favorite aspect of my position, of course, I recruit and I work with a lot of incoming students, high school student recruitment, visit a lot of high schools, but the favorite part of my job is working with our ambassador team. I love starting with a bunch of new, fresh students coming in, and they're so enthusiastic, and they're so excited about the college experience, and we work with them and train them and mold them, and really try to form them into a cohesive group, and if the result is what we hope it is, then we have a strong team that we can rely on, that provides a great experience for our incoming students and our guests. And to do that, we really need strong leadership. And I have to say, Allie Marszkowski is one of my favorite human beings. She has become one of my favorite people. I love working with her. I watched her commit as a freshman. She was kind of timid and shy and really not sure, where she was headed with college, and didn't really realize her own potential. And it has been so exciting to watch her grow and to take on new challenges. I got to fly in an airplane with her for the first time. That was a highlight. That was so cool. And we got to travel and go to a conference together, and seeing her really become invested in our team and become dedicated to our mission and really have a genuine buy-in for what we do has just been so fulfilling for me, and it's been so incredible. I think one thing I want to tell you thank you for, and I say it a lot, but I want to make it well known. Pandemic has been a little rough on everyone, and for our team, we have seen some unique challenges migrating from the office to home and virtual visits, and really trying to keep our recruitment stable as we're trying to manage this pandemic. And Allie stepped into such a leadership role. She kept things running smoothly. She was reliable. She spent a lot of time in the office as we did slowly kind of migrate back, but I really think our whole team started to see her as another professional staff person, because she just showed so much professionalism, and she really stepped up to the plate and really grew over the last 4 years that I've worked with her. So it's going to be so exciting to see what she does. She's accepted to grad school, so we're so excited about that. Really sad to see her go. She's left some really big shoes to fill, so we're hoping we get some great students in, but I'll tell you, it has just been such a privilege to work with her. So congratulations. I am so proud of you.
Office and Campus Information Desk here in Moore Hall. And I was so honored when Dorian Miller asked me to present him today. Dorian and I both started here at Ohio State Marion in the fall semester of 2018. And he was actually one of the first students I met here. Dorian made quite an impression on me and the rest of the campus with his enthusiasm, his charm, and always present smile. I was lucky enough to hire him his senior year. He started working for me in the fall. And when I learned that he was from Cincinnati, I asked him why he chose this campus. And he said to me, "Autumn, I know it sounds cheesy, but it felt like home. Like this was where I was meant to be." Yes, it was cheesy, but awesome to hear. Dorian wasted no time here and quickly became a very involved and integral part of this campus throughout his 4 years here. Does anybody remember when he sang Carmen, Ohio at the 2019 convocation? Yeah. Brilliant, brilliant. What's really amazing is how Dorian has truly made Marion his home. He is a heavily involved member of one of the local churches. He had a summer job working with youths at Marion's YMCA. And soon, he will be married to a local girl who is also a graduating senior whom you are very soon going to meet. But the good news doesn't stop there. Dorian starts his first real job Monday. So join me in congratulating Dorian. Way to go, best of luck, and this campus is sorely going to miss you.
Hello again. Another thing that we like to take pride in on the Marion campus is our campus culture of caring. This is more than a motto, as we strive to create an environment where there is a sense of belonging and each person feels as though they have someone in their corner. While our buildings and campus grounds are beautiful and our student opportunities are meaningful, we believe that it is the people on our campus who bring all of this to life. It is days like this that remind us why we do what we do. As faculty and staff, we remember meeting these students for the first time and over the years celebrating their highs and supporting them through their lows. Each step of the way watching them develop into the person they are today. In preparing for this event, the seniors ask that we recognize a few employees who have left our campus or been hired and impacted their experience while they've been with us. Karen Lutholt and Corey Ayers, both in the Student Life Department, resigned within the last year to pursue other opportunities. And some employees hired since 2018 include Ashley Gordon in Enrollment Services, Jessica Sturgill, Academic Advising, Michelle McInnes in Retention, Ellen Thomas in Counseling and Wellness, Autumn Lovejoy in Faculty Services, Kathy Gerber in Development and Community Relations, Jane Arnold in Career Services, Kelly Crum in Financial Aid, Jade Elkins, Campus Police, and Aaron Slater, Recreation and Environmental Programming. If you are here, please rise to be recognized. our next student.
Hi, everybody. So, first I want to just say I'm going to try to get this is a special group. Really special. This cohort of social work students. I have seen support each other through very difficult times. Reach out for support when they needed it. Struggle. Persevere. And so you'll hear some of their accomplishments. I can't possibly communicate all of what they've been through today. But to start with, Paige has a daughter, and I think she's mentioned up there. Her daughter is a priority to her, and one of her motivating factors. Paige did a placement with Mount Gilead Schools, and I think when Paige first started, she wasn't quite sure what to expect, and her field instructor, I think, has really supported and brought out what was already there with Paige. Paige is interested in working in a school, and I would hire her for sure. She is ready. She is ready. She engages easily with the students that she worked with at the school. Her field instructor has total confidence in her, do a great job, and I'm sure would hire her if he could. She has been very active in the social work club. She was the secretary. Paige is a person that if she sees a need, she steps up, even though she's probably thinking in her mind, how am I going to do this with all the other priorities I have in my life? But she does it, and she does it very well. Some of you may remember the giving tree that we had out in the atrium area there. That was courtesy of Paige. Paige coordinated that whole activity, and we adopted children. And so she coordinated with several community entities. We have inmates from one of the local prisons that made the bulbs that children, or that students here took to purchase items to bring back. And others that we coordinated with, and my mind is not thinking of them now. But anyways, Paige does a really good job with everything she accomplished, with everything she attempts. And she is working on her licensing, working on passing her licensing exam, and I'm sure successful in getting a job in the school. So, congratulations. For a minute. She got it, okay, all right. Miss Sydney, Mr. Dorian, and Miss Sydney are connected now, and they are going to be married, when is that? September. So yeah. Both are very wonderful people. And, by themselves, they accomplish good things, but together I'm sure you will be wonderful and dynamic. Sydney came into our program already, I think, with professional skills. She worked at Turning Point, which is the domestic violence shelter here in town, for a couple of years. And that's where she did her field placement. She was able to learn some new skills while she was there. She, rather than working in the shelter, she went into some high schools and presented some dating violence information with young people, which I think was received very well. Sydney is, she's very open-minded and very thoughtful and professional, I think, in every activity she does. And I have no doubt that she will be successful with her future endeavors. Clara Hanklin. Clara experienced a very huge loss while she was here. She persevered through. She got a lot of support from her cohort. Students really supported Clara through that. And I kept hearing from her, no, I don't want to take time off. I don't want to take time off. Look at you. You are here. You made it. Yeah. Clara also got married. She was in our program. And she had a field placement in a mental health agency. And she wasn't quite sure if that was the right fit for her. But again, she persevered. And I haven't heard yet, but I think she was applying for a position there. No. Okay. Okay. Well, she will find her fit wherever that is, and they will be lucky to have Clara. Clara, I think, is very empathetic. Empathy is one of the highest qualities in social work, and she will be successful. She has, there's no doubt, because she doesn't have a choice, right? I mean, there's something in you that just keeps. She's like the ever-ready bunny. She just keeps going and going until she gets to her goal. Anna, she had a field placement with ETSF, Ethiopian Iwahado Social Services. And for those of you that don't know what that is, it's for immigrants coming into our country, and the agency helps them find housing and helps with basic needs and really helps to get them settled and feel accepted in our community. Anna did that placement during the summer as a block placement, so she had an intensive placement experience and did very well. And I know that she loved that, but I think that's one of many areas of social work that she wants to experience. And so she is still on her journey, but she will find her way. And Anna has the kind of personality that I think folks will feel comfortable with no matter where she lands. So, and Anna's still waiting to hear about grad school, but I have no doubt that she will be accepted. And so we wish you well. a bubbly, professional personality. She works with and did a field placement at Marion Crawford Prevention Program, which is for young people, youth, who, it's a prevention program related to drugs and alcohol. And Jen did lots of prevention programming there, and I could tell from how she talked in class about the projects and programs that she was working with, how committed she is, because I know she did a lot of work on the weekends. I heard of some rallies and things like that on the weekends, and so she just puts her whole heart into everything that she does. She is looking for work in a school, possibly. Okay, so, well, yes. So she's going to continue working in the school through her work, and I hope one day Jen goes to grad school, because I think she will be an excellent candidate there. So, Jen, maybe. Miss Kelly. This is Kelly Spears. Kelly, as you see on the screen, it's taken her 9 years to get here. 9 years. Perseverance is definitely a word for her. She has 3 kids. She has a set of twins that's going to graduate next year. And so she's going to wait till they're done to go to grad school. She's already been accepted. Yes. Well, she is. I know. I already know these things. She did a field placement at NAMI, which is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. And her passion is mental health. And it's really unusual for a bachelor's prepared professional to get a job in a private practice. She did, and she calls it her dream job. So yes, so she is starting doing some intake work, and will eventually be attending grad school. And Kelly is another one that came in with professional skills. She's enthusiastic. Smiling all the time, except when she's crying. And she will just help all of her clients feel very comfortable with her. So, very professional.
Contacted me to see if I would be interested in interviewing Cassidy Starkey to complete an internship in the Counseling and Wellness Center on the OSU Marion campus for this academic year. Within the first few minutes of our Zoom interview, I realized that I needed to enlarge our Zoom room to accommodate Cassidy's big heart and abundant compassion. Cassidy stepped into the role of a professional social worker early when she emailed me months before her placement began to share an idea about starting a career clothing closet. Due to her hard work and organization, I am happy to announce that the closet officially opened this spring semester, and Cassidy's legacy will continue to grow on our campus for years to come. A few weeks ago, I came across these words, and I think that they are a perfect summary for Cassidy. She is unshaken unshakable, not because she does not know pain or failure, but because she always pushes through, because she shows up and never gives up, because she believes anything is possible no matter the odds. And perhaps what makes her beautiful has less to do with what lies on the surface and more to do with what lies within. She isn't just beautiful because of her appearance. No, she is beautiful because of the way she chooses to live and to love. In the way she embraces all of life's experiences, good or bad. In her willingness to bend but never break, and in her courage to believe that darkness cannot hold her as long as she continues to create her own light. She is just like a pearl, made of grit but full of grace. She is unstoppable. She knows it's not what happens, but how she chooses to respond, with perseverance in her mind and passion in her heart. Cassidy is heading out to change lives. I say that with confidence because she has already changed mine. Congratulations, Cassidy. And now for our closing remarks, please welcome our Dean and Director, Dr. Greg Rose.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this afternoon. I was tied up with some other activities and I popped out of that and I have to go back in again. So I've got two things I want to do. One certainly is to thank everybody for being here. I'll come back to that. But Terry, would you come up here, please? Mommy. Terry, So we've been sort of disrupted over the last couple of years in terms of the regular activities because of COVID. And you've been disrupted as students because of that as well. We deeply appreciate that and understand that. But one of the things that we do on a regular basis is to give various faculty awards. And so in 2020, Terry Kinsway received the Associated Faculty Award. And we weren't able to give it out because we went virtual that year, and we just couldn't make that all happen. And then I tried to chase her down, but she seems to be extraordinarily busy. And I just couldn't find her at the right time with the plaque. And so I've got a plaque, but I also have a few words here that were in her nomination. She was described as informative, passionate, respectful, kind-hearted, helpful, an active listener who goes the extra mile for her students. She exudes a passion for social work, and this passion is contagious. Her students leave her classes inspired to begin their social work careers, and I think even if I hadn't said those things or read those comments, you would have sensed that from the activities that happened here that I just saw the very tail end of. So I appreciate your indulgence for me to sort of misdirect what's supposed to be happening here, but it's my pleasure to present this award to Terry. It was an opportunity that was too good to pass up, so we had it. So finally, to the graduates, thank you for your time here. Thank you for your journey. I think you'll recognize and you'll think about all of the things that you've learned along the way from faculty, your internships and various placements, and those sorts of things. But remember, too, that we have learned from you. And so as we have engaged with you, as your faculty have engaged with you, as the staff have engaged with you, it's been a mutual learning experience. And think about that then as you go forward. So you're going to graduate, you're going to go to this or that, graduate school, whatever you're going to go forward to. But think about the notion that you have been educated, you have left an impression with us, you've left an impression with each other, and then think about that as you go forward. Those impressions then continue. So you have a responsibility, in a sense, to continue that education, continue those impressions, continue that engagement. That's why you got here in the first place. So think about that going forward. In a sense, it's that old concept of paying it forward, right? So others will benefit from what you've learned. They then will follow their path and so forth. So think about that responsibility as you're going forward. Think about it also as an opportunity. So during those times when perhaps the day didn't go as well as it might have, or things don't look particularly like they ought to, think about what your responsibility is in the larger world, or trying to make a difference, trying to make things better. And know that you have done so, and therefore, you can do it again. So thank you, congratulations. I wish you the best. Thanks for family members, friends, neighbors who are here today to watch them be recognized. And then there's another ceremony in a couple of weeks that some of you may be going to. And if you do, I hope you have a great time. And if you don't, well, okay, so thank you very much. And